Daniel Dubois is maybe boxing's most vicious wrecking machine.
Looking carefully, and now, oh, that's surely it! Oh, not that time.
Left hand.
And another one. Oh, and he's caught him with the left to the jaw, followed by the right hand, and he goes down.
But outside of his violent personality inside the ring, he's quite a strange character outside of it. But the psychology of Daniel Dubois may be more fascinating and also more tragic when you look into it. The inspiration behind this video came when I read an article written by Don McRae, who's an exceptional boxing writer. McRae interviews Dubois and goes into his mentality going into fights and his story. McRae's summary of Dubois' character is that Dubois is a deeply reserved world heavyweight champion who still lives with his formidable and mysterious father. He is 27 and a wrecking force in the ring. But Dubois often appears more like a shy teenager who is still tentative beneath the giant shadow of his domineering father Stan. His father always told him that he would become undisputed world heavyweight champion, and Dubois says, "I believed everything he said. The words, the way he said it, he was so sure about it, and I believed and thought, yes, I'm going to do this. It's not just talk, we've been working really hard from when I was 7 years old. I was grinding my fists down to the bone for it." Dubois holds up his bunched fists to show me again the deep scars that pockmark his knuckles. They were made from all the push-ups I did, with his knuckles pressed down against the floor. I can be proud of these marks. They've got me out of trouble a few times. Dubois once told me that when he was a kid, his dad made him do press-ups for hours. What was his record? The big man grins. We never counted the push-ups, we counted the hours. Maybe 4, 5 hours. We did some crazy stuff. Daniel Dubois' father, Stan Dubois, or Dave Dubois, he's got 2 names apparently. Already we can tell this is an extreme case of a father forcing his son into sports. It's normal for a father to introduce their son to boxing, but to make him do press-ups for hours on end from the age of 6 is a bit too extreme. And perhaps even more concerningly, Dubois and 6 of his siblings were kept at home by their father and never went to school, and he still seems stunted outside the ring. When I ask if he is finding a way to be his own person while still listening to his dad, Dubois looks confused. I don't even know what you mean by that question. I talk again about the deep influence his dad exerts over him and his boxing career. It has helped in the ring, but surely he wants to make his own choices away from boxing. I guess you could say that, but in the boxing sense, we're a team. Knowing that Dubois never went to school, never learned to socialise, and all he's known is doing rigorous exercise, under the promise of becoming heavyweight champion, it begins to make a lot more sense as to why Dubois is the way he is.
At the press conference, I just feel like you should never let anyone take an inch because they'll end up taking a mile. You know what I mean, Dan? Sorry? That's it.
If you've seen Dubois speak, it follows the same pattern every time. Without trying to sound mean, he seems a bit empty-headed.
What is Oleksandr Usyk's biggest weakness?
We're gonna expose that. We're gonna drag it out of him, whatever it is.
What is his biggest strength?
And I'll nullify that as well. So yeah.
Dubois' apparent lack of cognitive process has become a bit of a running joke in the boxing community, and while it can be easy to sit here and laugh at him, the backstory as to why he is the way he is makes it more tragic, and it stops being as funny, because it seems like a textbook case of abuse. Dubois' lack of autonomy becomes very obvious in his boxing career. He still lives with his father's the one who chooses who's in his camp and who isn't, and in a lot of interviews his father's the one who speaks for him. So when Dubois does speak for himself, it comes across as unnatural.
I want my revenge, Usyk. Well done on tonight. Well done on tonight. God bless. I want my revenge for the robbery last time. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Where's Frank? Make it happen.
Dubois has consistently tried throughout his career to be a promoter, mimicking other fighters in their trash talk, but coming across very wooden and artificial, especially when trying to provoke a likeable and stoic character like Oleksandr Usyk. Even the simple act of pushing someone comes across as unnatural and not like him. I would not be surprised if his father told him beforehand, push Usyk in the stare down, judging from the way he half commits to the push. I think Dubois was at his most dislikable when he was set to face Joyce back in 2020, when they were both undefeated.
You're going to be sleeping, Joe.
Yeah, maybe I'll sleep for a split second, get up, and then knock you there out.
When you wake back up, go on.
Huh?
No. Anyway, I'm going to win, and I'm going to win in devastating fashion.
Especially in this infamous case, when he spoke to Joyce's mum.
I've got a question for Daniel. If you get ill before the fight, you're going to pull out, what's going to happen?
No, my dear, you know what? I'm going to do you a favour. Because you can't see your son after he's been knocked out, you'll spare the heartache. You'll be spared the heartache.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, aren't you nice?
For context, Joyce's mum is blind, so even for trash talking standards, this was below the belt and uncalled for. And I think in some ways does show Dubois' inability to think for himself, because this was a relatively respectful build-up. There was light-hearted trash talk before this, but nothing that warranted that sort of comment. The comment even made the rounds on British news, because of how out of pocket it was, and it becomes clearer and clearer that Dubois simply never ever went to school. Because school teaches every child essential aspects of socialisation, which Dubois seems to be missing. Dubois ended up being stopped by Joyce, lost again 3 years later versus Oleksandr Usyk, but since then has been on the best run of his career, starting with stopping an undefeated Jarrell Miller, followed by undefeated title challenger Filip Hrgović. Hrgović was quite highly rated by this point, coming off a close decision win over Zhilei Zhang, and overall being seen as a very technically sound heavyweight. So Hrgović was quite heavily favoured to win the fight, but the performance that followed I think perfectly encapsulates the style of Daniel Dubois.
Up there from Dubois.
Tonight.
It's just like hitting you in the face, isn't it?
Dubois just by taking the feet out of range.
Another one.
Hrgović is going looking for that big right hand and again.
Oh, he's caught him again. This is target practice with the right hand so far.
This bit, he's got to be careful walking onto these.
He has to go forward, going back.
Oh, and he landed one of his own.
Throwing that lead uppercut.
Took him out though, Dubois again.
For me, it was Tony Sims.
Always one, only one.
Mystics in round one. There's a right hand from Dubois. And a right hand from Hrgović. Far. Defense is not on the menu.
Oh, again, he's waiting too long.
And every time he gets hit, you go, oh, he took that well. His body went through a shock. And now a right hand for Dubois to left.
Hrgović, I think.
Oh, yes.
Hrgović throwing more than one punch at a time.
I think they've got to use the jab. That's better.
Oh, and a left hand from Dubois.
Early on in the fight, Dubois seems quite clearly out of his depth. Hrgovic's right cross was landing at will, but the punches simply bounced off Dubois' skull, and he never stopped advancing.
Combination was high tempo on the pads, and
You can see, looks tired, doesn't he, Hrgović already? But he's boxing at his pace though, Dubois.
screaming at his son. In there, Hrgović. Oh, good right hand, Dubois.
Oh, there's a stiff right hand. Snaps the neck of Dubois.
Hrgović throws, he lands.
But you talked about him being tired, though, Barry. There's another one.
4 beautiful jabs.
There's a body shot.
Oh,
Good shot. Yeah, well, because...
Oh, big jab.
By Robert Smith of referee John Layton, saying it was caused by a punch.
There was a good one in that. Hrgovic's body language isn't great. He looks exhausted.
Oh, good body shot.
Oh, he set that one up.
The shot.
27.
oh. Hrgović changing right hands.
That's good work on her.
Dubois forced Hrgović to fight at such a pace that Hrgović was now clearly exhausted, but Dubois was still full of energy, on his toes throwing massive punches.
Who just seems to be able to outlast Hrgović at this point. And look at this moment. How would do against AJ? Maybe he gets the golden ticket. Oh, big shot. A colossal right hand. Oh, man. Oh! How is Hrgović still standing? Oh, and he caught him again.
Close to becoming 8-0 Queensbury.
Little go.
With the flag, he's bleeding profusely from 2 cuts on his face.
By Hrgović, that he's a different animal now. Now Hrgović has felt it.
I think that the doctor's going to take a look at these cuts. Daniel Dubois, stop! biggest win of his career.
Unbelievable, Barry.
He was fantastic from...
Dubois defies the odds, overcomes adversity early on, and outlasts a dangerous contender in Filip Hrgović. This shows how Dubois' boxing brain has evolved. He was labelled as weak and a quitter based on the Joyce and Usyk fights, but was now taking that adversity head on and coming through it. That win gave Dubois the vacant IBF heavyweight title, which he would then defend in the biggest fight of his life versus Anthony Joshua, in a fight where once again he was the underdog. Many people believed that Joshua, leading up to the fight with Dubois, was in the best form of his career. As displayed in his two previous fights versus Otto Wallin and Francis Ngannou, he seems to display a perfect balance of patience and aggression, getting 2 knockout wins over 2 opponents that Tyson Fury had struggled with and went the distance with. But as it turns out, Daniel Dubois came to fight.
Shot from Joshua, a lovely jab there from... What did we say all week? If he can take the primary from AJ.
After those setbacks in his final
Dubois immediately kicked off the fight by getting in Joshua's face, and then dropped him with a massive right hand at the end of the round. Joshua's never been known for his powers of recovery, so that set the tone for the rest of the fight.
Step in with a big...
Dubois used Joshua as a punching bag for most of the fight, until Joshua himself landed a big right hand, which caused him to get overconfident, go for the finish, and get knocked out himself. This now made Dubois a serious name in the heavyweight division, and made people think he was a new man leading into the rematch versus Usyk. But as we just saw last night, Usyk proves once again why he's one of the best of all time. I think you can make a case for that being the best performance of Usyk's career so far. He looked so sharp on the counter, more dangerous offensively than we normally see him, and overall Dubois was simply too one-dimensional once again, and not good enough defensively to keep up with the class of Usyk. Dubois is still 27 and still has a future ahead of him. He can still certainly spark some heavyweights. I would absolutely love to see him fight Tyson Fury or Ajit Kabayel. I actually think he'd still beat Fury. I think Fury's feet are too slow at this point to keep up with Dubois, who's going to be constantly chasing and cutting off the ring. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Goodbye.